Welcome back, boys and girls, to game number 3. It's Team ABC versus Invasion in the GMPGL Malaysia qualifier. The winner of this match moves on to face Orange or Gizmo, the winner of that best out of 3, which is being played right now, being cast by Dota Talk, if you want to check that one out. But the winner of that best out of 3 will secure a spot in the GST Dota 2 event. We're not there yet, though. Game 3 still now to be played. Winter's team struck back in Game 2, and, I mean, really, that was one fat Han Trash player. I'm LD. He's Gods. Oh, and the mag this time goes to Invasion.
Well, it's been a day of mag picks. It's kind of a bit refreshing to see him making his way through the pool. For a while, he was getting banned quite a bit, but he's back to being picked. And Winter, his team, quite happy to take the Keeper of the Light, a hero that I think a lot of people are thinking has sort of been seen enough as of late. Winter, though, they also get the Luna in there as well. They're, as you say, fighting for that spot in the grand finals here in game number 3. And we're going to have to see whether or not ABC can do it or Invasion. Most likely an encounter with Orange Esports in the final, but who knows? Anything can happen there.
Yeah, anything can happen. This time ABC goes for the Luna themselves. They have the Keeper of the Light. And this has all the makings of an offensive tri-lane, I think, with the Keeper of the Light. And then the Luna getting that safe lane 1v1. Or even the mid lane 1v1 versus Mag. We saw last game, Luna can absolutely win that matchup. And I think Winter may look to go back to that. They'll have a much stronger tri-lane because they have Keeper. Sure, last game they had the big... in game 1 they had that big burst damage, but what they didn't have was the ability to just push the lane into the tower. So very likely ABC is going to go for that. But we'll see. They don't have to. They could run the defensive tri-lane, but I really feel the strength of the Luna pick is that you can run her as a solo, get the really early level 6, level 7 up, and then start 5-manning. And the best way to do that is to offensive tri-lane.
Yeah, and like you said, Luna fits fine in the safe lane or even in the mid lane. I think it's one of those things which is somewhat overlooked and not really useful as a solo mid Luna. It's a hero that does very well there. The only team I've seen do it on occasion is S4 for no Tidehunter. Invasion Red, they pick themselves up a strong support duo for the time being. They get themselves Rubik as well as Lestrak. I guess somewhat fearful of what's to come with a potential offensive tri-lane, but they stay away from the Shadow Demon. Interesting to note that.
Yeah, I like the fact they got Rubik. This is really going to discourage ABC from going for the big 5-man Dota AoE. Sure, you have Mag, but when you get crushed by the 5-man, you don't want to die to it again. And with Mag and Rubik, they're very safe against that sort of thing. So for ABC, most likely, this is going to come down more to game 1. Just focusing more on that recipe for success of dominate the lanes, push the towers early, and win via starvation. That most likely will be their game plan, because if this goes late, already Invasion has a very strong late game, and that's without a carry, just because they have Mag and Rubik, two of the very strongest late game heroes. And split push, strong lane control, that's going to be the choice. Queen of Pain now secured, so that we saw an off-lane Queen of Pain last game, but I'm not convinced. I feel that was just really poor lane control overall.
Yeah, I think we see TFG maybe go back to playing the mid lane here with his Queen of Pain. Wang Wang, who's played the mid the last couple of games, has been on sort of some more of his signature heroes like the Darkseer. So maybe we see TFG go back towards mid Queen of Pain and Hon Trash player, most likely on the Luna. And for now, second ban stage, life steal ban. This is basically where Orange look to ban out some of those potential carry heroes that could cause them some issues in the tri lane. I don't think they'll be too worried about stuff like Anti-Mage or Faceless Void being picked up too much. Having the Mag as well as the Faceless Void just gives too weak of a lanes, and that's something which ABC are really in a position to punish if Invasion gets some weak lanes.
Yeah, they still could run the Luna and the Queen of Pain solos an offensive try with the Keeper, but they actually banned the Lifestealer, so they are worried about getting offensive tri lane. This strongly suggests that they're throwing the Luna into the safe lane, and that's going to mean could be an off-lane Keeper of the Light. We don't really often see that, but it's always something you can do. It could be the off-lane Queen of Pain, but most likely they don't have their off-laner yet. Queen of Pain will go mid, Luna will go safe lane. The one thing ABC does not have is stuns or team fight. Sure, you can try and play split push, but you really want to have a few stuns, set up some kills around the map, just so that your split pushers can be more aggressive, so the enemy is afraid of you. Currently, Invasion doesn't really have to be too afraid of just getting picked off, aside from maybe Queen of Pain blowing her ult, but that is a long cooldown. I'd like to see them pick up some reliable initiating stuns in the second stage of the draft.
Yeah, neither team in with a lot of stuns right now for the most part. I mean, at least, well,
I would say Invasion has a lot of stuns.
5 seconds.
Yeah, okay, they've got a lot of stuns, I guess. But I mean, as far as
it's not the most. I mean,
yeah.
they could have more, but they certainly have more than ABC.
No, without ABC with next to nothing right now. And I think it's something where the changing styles of play, it's something which Na'Vi have been exploiting with this Stormstrip pick. There's something realizing teams are just they're cutting corners and not picking up Disable. So like, well, let's just start exploiting that. Let's pick up Storm Spirit. Let's pick up these heroes which, without lockdown, you can't deal with. Like you say, I definitely take back my words. Invasion with plenty of stuns here with the Mag Ultimate, the Rubik Leshrac. They get Gyrocopter as well, so they're going for a sort of European style of picky with the Gyrocopter, something which is very strong in the laning stage.
I quite like this because it's very good at... you can offensive tri-lane with this against Luna, and if Luna ever gets caught by Telekinesis Lift, she's probably dead. Split Earth, Rocket Barrage, follow-up. The one thing is if they go aggressive, they're up against Keeper, and that always spells trouble. It comes down to the Ward Wars. We talk about it all the time when Keeper's being picked a lot in the G League. Let's see what they do. You don't have to offensive try the Gyro. It is an option. I think a rather risky one just because of the Keeper pickup. There's still a Shadow Demon on the board. That can really discourage the offensive tri-lane. I think we may see that Shadow Demon here as they also have the Luna. But at the same time, Invasion already has their 2 supports, so you don't have to pick it now. I guess they may save it for the last pick, but Shadow Demon, I think, likely to be that secondary support. No, they go for Sand King. Okay.
It's the trademark Southeast Asian support in some games, and well, ABC decided it's going to work for them here as well. I'm surprised they didn't go for the Shadow Demon. I guess it's because of the lack of disables. It really is the main explanation there. They need something. They need some more reliable stun. Sure, you've got Disruption, but it's not a stun. It's not something you can use in a team fight. It takes the hero out of the fight, but once they're back in the fight, they're no longer disabled. So having the Burrow Strike to take multiple heroes out of the fight, and when you look at heroes like Rubik, Leshrac, Gyrocopter, these are heroes you can try and line up and who are very, very squishy.
Worried, though, because it's not really a good initiating stun until the mid-game. Once he gets that level 7 Burrow Strike, and they don't have something like Surge to get him in range quickly, like we saw Darkseer in at least one of the last 2 games with Sandkin comboed up. I'm not convinced. Also, he's not good against tri-lanes early on because you're unlikely to get a multiple hero Burrow Strike. Even just getting range for 1, you take a lot of damage doing so. You can be lifted while you're walking in quite easily. Lift has a much longer range. Oh, Warlock is the final choice. I think we're going to see a solo mid Warlock, an offensive tri-lane, or maybe a safe lane solo Warlock, but most likely a Mag and Warlock solo, and then an offensive tri-lane. And talk about team fight.
Yeah, what on earth is this? I think FC's been watching some like Dignitas replays or something. Some solo mid Warlock, some good old Gyrocopter. I'm liking these picks. I mean, they've made their way to the Southeast Asian scene, and well, this is a cool little draft here. And Infernal, that thing does a ton of damage. It's really, I mean, something a lot of players underestimate about the amount of damage they can do if you do get a couple right clicks off with them when it lands. And heroes like Keeper of the Light. I love the Warlock pick against Keeper of the Light because you can chuck that rock at the back lines. Basically push Keeper of the Light out of the fight by just right-clicking him with it, and then it's basically without those Illuminates, it's a big source of damage that ABC are going to be lacking in those fights.
Yeah, I love the Warlock pick. I think it synergizes beautifully with their team. It's a great team to have that nice initiating stun. It goes through BKB. You can look to burst. I mean, they've got 2 ways to go through BKB now. They've got the RP. They've got the Warlock Rock, and that can be enough burst easily to bring down Luna. ABC goes for Weaver, so it's really all about split push. It's all about spreading the map. If they ever get forced into a 5v5 game, they're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, 5v5 game does not favor them unless they get a big item lead, an early game lead, which they can do so from the laning stage, but until they get there, they're going to avoid that group up and fight. Mag Ultimate, Warlock Ultimate, and just the burst damage that the supports and the Gyrocopter offer is going to be too much to handle. So we'll have to see how they look to lane this. It is going to be Wang Wang not playing the solo mid this time around. He's got his hands on the Weaver. And ABC, I think they're still okay here. Just having a Keeper of the Light, you're always looking pretty good. You can at least hold out for your carries to get farmed. In this case, the Luna. You've also got a backup carry in both Weaver and Queen of Pain. And it's going to give them strong lanes as well.
And they can get very creative with the lanes. What they could potentially do is run the Weaver in the tri-lane, send the Luna solo mid, and the Queen of Pain can go safe lane, or off lane rather, into the suicide lane, because it's probably going to be either a Mag or a Warlock there. If we're assuming those 2 are going to be the solos, and if it's an offensive tri-lane, you can have a tri-lane that's very hard to kill, but Mag's heading bottom with observers, so it looks like he's just going to place these. Hasn't spent any of his other gold. I guess they're not offensive tri-lane, they're running Mag off lane. And this is something ABC can really punish. Weaver by himself can completely zone a Mag out of the lane with just a slight amount of farm. And then your supports are free to roam. A Sand King, Keep It Light, not the strongest roaming combo until the Sand King hits level 3, but with a smoke, a nice Illuminate charge, and maybe some Shadow Strike slow, they may be able to find some kills. Either way, they can farm a lot. So I'm not sure this Mag offlane is really the way to go.
Yeah, Mag offlane, it's been sort of struggling as of late. Especially Especially when you go up against a trial and just having that shorter range skill. But even in this 1v1 matchup against a Luna, you're really going to be put in a bit of trouble here against a safe lane Luna who's got regen, will be rushing those Tranquil Boots and probably will out-farm you unless you get the opportunity to bottle Crow.
Well, quickly, it is time, guys. Let's introduce the players. Give it up for Invasion. Snow on the Gyrocopter. We have Bai on the Leshrac. S playing the Rubik. They're running the defensive tri-lane. FC on the solo mid Warlock. Off lane will be our Mag, who has spent the rest of his gold. Tango's Healing Self and the Stout Shield, as well as the early pair of Observers. Going 1v1 versus Luna. And Luna also does quite well against Mag in this 1v1, especially when the Mag's off lane. And it won't be a 1v1. The supports are coming in. So many ways to deal with the Mag. Instead, they send the Queen of Pain mid, which is certainly a strong matchup. I haven't actually cast Queen of Pain versus Warlock, nor have I gotten a chance to play it, especially not since Warlock got fixed. I would assume it favors the Queen of Pain, but I'll defer to you if you have any experience in the matter.
Yeah, I think it'd be somewhat even. Warlock can, if you want to go some early stat points to help with the matchup, you can, and it's definitely depends on how aggressive the Warlock can play. Warlock has the better base stats and can just look to trade hits with Queen of Pain a bit.
Uh-oh. If we ever get... Oh, he should be okay.
Oh, bottom lane, though.
Oh, this is a hero that might not be okay. Gets found out. He does have Skewer. He's blocked. He's forced to blow it already. There's no backup, so just a little harassment.
Yeah, Mag actually going to try trade hits a bit here. His creep wave is coming, so he can afford to do so. Does get Sanking down nice and low, but look at what Sanking's done. 2 sets of Tangos and a Salve here, so he's in a position just to trade hits all day long. Mag with Tangos as a Salve as well as a Stout Shield can trade pretty efficiently, but Mag, once he's out of this lane, he's staying level 1 for a long, long time.
And the Sandcade has 6 Tangos, so he's not afraid to trade at all. This is very smart. I want to point out that the Mag actually bought his own Observers. He spent the gold right away, had 450, ran down to the bottom lane, and if anything, you often would pull your Mag in this situation, but they chose to basically throw him to the Wolves, figuring we're going to get the great trades top and mid, but that's giving away quite a lot, to say the least, and an under-leveled, under-farm Mag is not a strong off lane. He's not really a hero like a Beastmaster, I feel, who can just show up to the fight, because he needs those Arcane Boots to be effective in the mid-game. And, well, getting zoned out by the Sand King.
Yeah, Sand King, I like what he's doing. Keeping Mag level as low level as possible for a long time is going to be great. Unfortunately, the wave is starting to push now, so Mag pretty much guaranteed to get level 2. Starting getting close to that level 3, and Sand King, you can't really zone him out when the lane is pushed this far up.
Well, Hantrash player, up to 700 gold. There may be some Midases in our future this game, potentially. He did start with that early Brain of Protection, but he's not going to take any harassment. They're pushing the lane, though, not really controlling the creep equilibrium effectively. And I believe it was because the Mag did block one of the... I think he blocked this camp over here, which prevented the double pull. So they weren't able to stop the lane from pushing. Mag now gets a lot of experience. The trade, of course, being that... Well, this is not a trade I would expect. It's actually the Weaver mid-pulling. Unorthodox, but certainly better than just sitting top and getting nothing. And with the sentries in the lane, there's not a whole lot you could do. The support comes in mid with the Rubik Illusions. Warlock bullying the Queen of Pain out of this lane. Has the bottle up now, though.
Thought you had that,
I don't think Queen of Pain wins this lane by trying to trade harass. What you should be doing is just look to out-rune control your opponent and get the levels up. You can out-push Warlock once you have that level 3 Scream of Pain. But yeah, if it comes down to just trading harass, you're not going to win that battle. When you heal yourself with Shadow Word, it's not reduced by magic resistance because it is a heal, and that is a lot of heal.
Yeah, and unfortunately the Queen of Pain Invasion have like the perfect heroes pretty much to prevent Queen of Pain from getting runes. Mag can just camp the bottom rune. Since he can't be in lane, he may as well camp bottom rune every 2 minutes. And the supports at top, when they're not pulling, they can be checking these runes. We had Rubik grab the 2-minute rune, and they don't have to worry about zoning Weaver out of the lane. They've got the ability to kill him if he comes, and he's already resorted to these mid pulls. So for the most part, Queen of Pain, it's going to be hard to get these runes if Invasion want to stay active with using the Mag and using the supports to check them.
Luna is going to pick up the Tranquil Boots now. Mag's back at base. The lane's about to push again. But the pulls are coming in, so some of this wave may be missed. No, he's going to have a TP up. He's going to TP bottom. This is a lot of waves of experience being given to him, whereas Weaver, he is mid-pulling. He's up to level 3, but it forces Queen of Pain to last hit under the tower to tank the creep wave. And that's denying the Queen of Pain some crucial farm. Only 13 and 6. Even with the Warlock, you'd expect her to be starting to pull ahead as she gets up to level 5, can start spamming that Scream of Pain, forcing the Warlock to last it on their tower. Not the case. They're going down a Warlock, but I don't know if they can kill him. They're going to go for it here. Uh-oh. He needs to heal himself. He's actually going for the stats, just getting as tanky as possible, but I don't know if it'll be enough. One more Sakuchi is only level 3. If he had... no, he really... I guess he had a point in the Swarm he could have gotten the kill. But of course, only level 3, not going to have it just yet.
Yeah, Queen of Pain, I think he was thinking about blinking in for that kill, but it would have probably been his death under the tower there. FC, he knew he was alive once he did get the bottle up, had a couple more charges there.
And he's back to full HP with 850 health, going for stats. Ridiculously tanked.
Oh, Weaver actually gets skewered, blind skewered by the Mag. Unfortunately for Mag, Mag was just trying to get out of there, didn't actually want to bring the Weaver with him, and there's your first blood. Wang Wang on the Weaver, a very unorthodox Weaver, mid-pulling, ganking mid, finds himself a first blood.
Party in the mid lane, Keeper of the Light Journey's here, Sand King Journey's here. I'm a little disappointed we didn't see Hontrash player join the fight, but, well, they got the Mag, so victory for them. Of course, remember, Gyro's being left alone top, and he's actually our lead farmer. Fade's Boots already picked up. Gyro does have some last hitting issues when you pull the lane a lot. His base damage is quite low, but at this point, with Phase Boots up, it gets quite easy for him, and, well, he misses a CS. I think I jinxed him. I'll leave him alone for the moment. Invasion, I feel looking pretty decent despite that first blood. The Mag's getting a lot of experience off the bottom lane, up to level 3, which considering that he's up against the tri-lane and they're pulling, pretty solid for him. And they've got the Warlock Rock active, which means if he uses it at the right moment, it's impossible to push, and they can easily win a big fight. Gyro's level 6 as well. The team fight of Invasion is strong. ABC can split push this, but they're giving away the core levels to Invasion. That could come back to haunt them later on.
Yeah, and the support's using all these pools and stuff, getting some farm and items. Well, not so much farm, but at least some levels of their own. They're both level 3. They actually can go for a bit of a smoke gang here, venture towards the mid lane. Queen of Pain actually TPing back in right now. This could be a bad timing for that window, as Invisarin does spawn top, being pinged here, and Queen of Pain going to walk right into it.
Oh, where's that lift? She blinks forward to grab the Invis. They have a sentry. They will pop it. The Split Earth misses again. There's been a lot of missed Split Earths this game. Not this game, this tournament. The Blink's still on cooldown. She might die. One more Pulse of Edict. No, actually, sorry, that was the Shadow Word that killed her off. I was going to say, there's no way she's in Edict range, but in fact, it was not that. Meanwhile, Mag dies bottom. Luna, did she Eclipse for this? No, did not. So Eclipse still available. And that is easily the most important spell for ABC. If Eclipse is down, Invasion can get very aggressive, especially if they have the Warlock Rock online. But for the moment, it hasn't been used just yet, and Eclipse is still up.
Yeah, interesting little pick off there. Mag going down, and, well, they catch up the Queen of Pain there. Queen of Pain blinking for that Invis-Rune, but sentries, of course, up on the map when there's a Weaver there. They've had those from minute 1, and making good use of it for that Queen of Pain. So Invasion now, they just need to sort of settle. They need to try find an opportunity to use this rock and get a tower. That's the one thing which they haven't been able to do, is start pressuring towers. And they've gone for the Edict build even on the Lestrak, which means they want to push. And with rock up, they need to basically just look to group up and do that. Easiest place is going to be top, because that's where Gyrocopter's already farming. He can offer a lot to a push. This top tier 1 tower should be pretty easy to bring down.
And ABC, they have strong anti-push, but if anybody gets caught, the rest are just going to fall like a house of cards. And I agree with you. I think that would be the way to go. But for the moment, just leaving the Warlock mid. The other thing to keep in mind is that the time when your ult is online is time your ult is not cooling down. So they're missing opportunities for that second ultimate to be used later on. Warlock ult, yes, has a long cooldown. You don't want to waste it, but you also want to start using it. That's really the strength of this hero. And surprisingly, he's just now starting to go for Fatal Bonds. Luna gets a solo, not a solo kill, a 2-hero kill bottom. He did pop the Eclipse Sword. Sand King's only level 4 8, and it's a little bit under-leveled. Something that PyCat has talked about is that one of the powers of Eclipse is not actually using the Eclipse, but having it online, because it allows your team to push. But this is a game where I don't think they can really push, so just going for solo kills is probably the better choice.
Yeah, every time Dave can get a kill here with this Luna, he may as well do so, considering that they're not going to be looking to push anytime soon. But mid lane, there's a rock being used defensively on the Weaver and Queen of Pain here. Queen of Pain going to go down to the Shadow Word.
Jesus!
Taking a ton of damage. People like Illuminate comes in, but too late, and 2 kills get given to FCFC under his own tower with the Warlock. The Warlock Golem is just doing a ton of damage.
That mech is coming, and it's coming soon, and then the push will begin. They need to give the Mag some farm, though. He needs to get levels. He's only got a Salve and a Stout Shield. He hit level 3 at, like, the 2-minute mark, and he hasn't gotten any levels since then. Maybe it was the 3-minute mark, but very early on. Would like to see them commit even the safe lane to him. They can rotate Gyro down to the bottom lane, just put some lane wards there, and diving a Gyrocopter is incredibly dangerous, plus Eclipse is on cooldown, so you know he's not going to be doped. So I would like to see them just give this Mag the safe lane farm for a little bit, but for the moment, he's just going to sit mid, pressure this tower, And really, the power of the rock. They dive with basically full HP. Just the rock drop, a couple of auto attacks, down it goes, but does feed away that 100 gold and quite a bit of experience to the Queen of Pain. Top lane, the tower falls, destroyed by the Dire side. And I believe we'll see that Shadow Blade coming out from the Gyrocopter. He has 1,400 gold in the bank.
Everything going really well for Invasion, apart from the mag, his level. If he was level 6 now, with just some boots getting, even if he doesn't even have to have his arcane boots right now, but he just needs to have that be around level 6 here. But he's a bit under leveled. He could have almost just gone into his own jungle and been level 5, level 6 by now, unfortunately. But Invasion rate, even without that, they are going to look to keep on pressuring these towers, even without the Infernal up too.
Bias just slowly chipping away at Better Me. Also working on the tower. The TPs are coming in. Queen of Pain thinks about unleashing the ult. They know the Warlock ultimate is on cooldown. There's no Infernal here. There's no RP even in sight. He's only level 4, but Gyro is coming to the fight. Has not been seen. Backup has arrived. Here comes the Rockets. Here comes the Hellfire. Snow's looking for the backstep. When's he going to go? He's striking a Winter. Winter's going to run right into the barrage, but it's only level 1. The ult's going to miss as well. Queen of Pain assassinates 2 with the help of the Sand King. Now the Warlock in trouble with no rock. How do they team fight? It looks like they can't. And overall, I mean, Gyro not leveling up Rocket Barrage and then going for ganks. If you go for Flat Cannon, that is a farm build. That's not really a 5-man group up and fight build. And I think the 5-man group up and fight build would be better given their team composition. But if you're going to go Flat Cannon, you should really just be stacking and farming as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and now Invasion in a position where they're defending their own tower. They still haven't got Rock yet. I imagine ABC are going to start worrying because they're probably thinking that Rock is just about up, and they're going to be right in thinking that.
Nope.
It's got such a long cooldown.
They're not. They're going for the backstab right now. It could come back to haunt them, though, as the Rock is coming down. In 5 seconds, there's also a mech. It's going to be there. Shockwave as well. Beautiful split earth. Catches 2. Weaver trying to run away. Will he escape in time? The Edict's burning him down. He's got the time lapse. He'll head the other way. No, he runs back in. The Rock could be here. Dust on 2. Burrow String on 2. Epicenter being channeled. Rock is too late, but I think it's going to be enough. With the Illuminate, still not sufficient. Eclipse comes in. Needs a bounce on the freaking Warlock. Cannot get it. Eclipse was stolen, but Rubik doesn't have mana for it. Still on the way out. Gyro picks off a retreating, fleeing Keeper of the Light. 3 heroes dead. The Warlock ultimate used. Every time they have this ult, they're getting kills. Every time they don't, they're losing fights. Now with the ultimate on the floor, they really want to push. And Mag is still level 4. I really don't like the choice to have him involved in these fights. He needs to get level 6, level 7. Like you said, doesn't need Arcane Boots, but just needs the levels. And right now, he's not getting them.
Yeah, and once we have the RP up, those fights are going to go so much more heavily in the favor of Invasion. It's partly why ABC are thinking, hey, we can be a bit aggressive. We can go for a wraparound. Even with Rock just coming off cooldown, if that Rock was up even sooner, I think the fight would have gone worse. So ABC, they do get a bit overconfident. So it's as a result of this underleveled mag.
Yeah, he's still sitting mid. It's very curious. Most teams would rotate the Magnus to the... I mean, Leshrack's level 5. He's almost level 6. And it's not like he's getting a whole lot of experience. We're 12 minutes in. Most heroes would be level 6 at this point. Let's see if this can pay off later on down the road. But for the moment, Gyrocopter up to 2,400 gold. I would like to see something like that Shadow Blade. It's a good item just to assassinate a lot of these squishy supports. Similar to a Shadow Fiend. Eclipse is here, though. The one that was stolen by the Rubik. Unfortunately, it's just not quite enough follow-up. And then they will be able to run away. They pick him off. Eclipse was wasted in the end. Went for kind of a big play. Didn't have the backup. In the end, it fails.
Yeah, it did. And bottom lane, Luna's finished off a full BKB. So 12-minute BKB here. No other items to follow. Not seeing any minuses. Not seeing a straight Manta style. No drums either. So he's just going straight for the magic community. He's worried about the Rubik Leshrack burst damage. And Gyrocopter to some extent, who is starting to max out the Rocket Barrage now. So definitely a worthwhile investment. Something you ultimately want anyways. And maybe we can start seeing that 5-man group up and push now. The BKB is pretty much built for doing that. And you've got to keep with Light Blast, but we'll have to see whether or not they're in a position to do so with their current items. They haven't finished off the mech yet.
Do you want to push into Warlock? Do you want to push into Mag, who finally has been given a lane, and now all of a sudden, almost level 6, so catching up. Just getting that level 6 means that the team fight is going to be insane. Remember that Infernal has a chance to do big, pulverized AoE damage, just crushing the opposition. And with Fatal Bond's RP and all the AoE this team can bring to bear, everybody can and probably will melt if they hit the combo. Gyrocopter has not spent his gold yet. I think it looks like he's going for a BKB. No, he's bought something, but it's... Oh, it's a completed Shadow Blade on the floor at the base. So he's going for that. I was going to say BKB would make sense since they do have a strong 5-man lineup, but if you want to go for that, you got to max your nukes so you can kill the supports. Since he's not doing that, he's going for the split push style. He's going for more of that late game aggressive pushing and farming build, and He's got the items to do it. Let's see if he can make something happen with the Shadow Blade.
Yeah, right now, ABC just going for a bit of a split push here. They don't want to fight into this. The Warlock Infernal has caused them a lot of problems already, and now we're looking at Mag, who's hit level 6. Completely out of mana, though, so we'll need to see some Arcane Boots coming out from one of his teammates. He does have the bottle as well as a Clarity, so we'll get him close to having Skewer as well as an RP, but not having a Shockwave mana. This is the problem without those Arcane Boots. You just only have the RP, maybe.
As far as gold goes, gods, it's only about 1,000 gold lead for the Radiant. As far as experience, only about 1,500 lead. The key thing, though, is Invasion has this scary team fight. The Rock's online. The RP would be there if he had mana. Like you mentioned, does not have it. Just has it now with the bottle, but won't have mana for his full combo unless he uses this final bottle charge. Doesn't have any stick charges at the moment. 5 heroes mid. Really looking to force these fights, which makes the Shadow Blade fairly useless. Sure, it gives you a little bit of damage and attack speed, but the main strength of this is the ability to assassinate supports. The tower should fall to this round of Edict. There's no glyph anymore. Down it will go. The trade is there, though. They're pressuring bottom. Trash player bringing that tower low. Top lane, the same thing. Queen of Pain, not going to get the last hit, but does get the tower down. That's the key. Luna staying around bottom. Maybe forced to use this BKB if she stays too much longer. Gets lifted back in. There's no backup in sight. Actually, I think they don't have... No, they do have TPs. They're just choosing not to TP in to fight her. Instead, they rotate top. And this is exactly what ABC need to do. They have 3 mobile semi-carries. They don't have much team fight. They split push, they farm items, they go for late game. Because the 5v5 fights just aren't going to work. It's the right way to execute this game. They are going to look for a pick off bottom, and SS, because he's still Blink, just jumps away. Oh boy. That's not good.
Cheeky. And I think ABC thought they had a kill there. They'd
Lack of stuns.
Rubik stole the Blink.
That's what we talked about. They don't have many stuns.
Yeah. Just the one from the Sand King, and well, the 2-man ganks were not going to work there when Rubik has that blink up, and ABC, they're just going to keep split pushing here. They're still in a decent position here, and Luna can just be so aggressive now with the BKB as far as split pushing goes. Sure, there's 2 spells to cancel it, but he can basically see those TPs coming in. That's one of those really the big issue there. You're going to see what's coming your way, you retreat in time, and it's just how you deal with that 5-man invasion push down the middle lane. You just push those side lanes. They already took a tier 1 top tower. Next time they'll probably get this tier 2 at bottom.
One thing Invasion could think about is forcing a fight at the Roshan pit. There is a BKB up on Luna, but you have RP, you have Warlock Rock, and if you have some decent vision, you could go for the Roche, and most likely a fight there is going to go your way, especially because you've Gyrocopter, whose AoE burst is absolutely insane, is filthy, really, and you have Rubik, who can steal a lot of those big AoE teamfight ults and turn the fight even farther in your favor. But they're not going for Roche yet. They want to go for the tier 1 bottom. After this, I'd like to see an Observer Ward behind the tower. It looks like that's what they're going for now. Nope, just going for the dive. Winter's in a bit of a pickle. He's going to TP away. They're not going to chase him too much. The trade coming. Really, all the right decisions being made with the trades here by ABC, and not a whole lot Invasion can really do to punish it, because they're not the most mobile lineup.
Yeah, Mag is there at the mid lane to try and defend this, but he can just stall it bit by bit. Those 2 heroes are still doing as much as they can just to cause Invasion some worries, make them think twice about pushing down this bottom lane, especially when they've only got 3 heroes. That's the other thing here. ABC, they see Mag at mid lane and think, oh, if we want to, we can try find an engagement on the bottom lane. For the time being, Sand King is actually farming up in his own neutrals, trying to get his Blink Dagger up, so ABC not looking to make any openings just yet, but once his Blink is up, they'll look to punish any sort of over-aggressive split pushing coming out from Invasion.
Gyrocopter could have probably gotten a kill there on the Queen of Pain. I think expected her to blink away before that Omi missile hit. If he had dropped the ultimate or gone for the early rocket barrage, he could have gotten the kill, but still forces the harassment. And now Roshan a little bit open. They do need to de-ward. Unfortunately, they're not going to ward in the right location, so this Observer will remain up. And that's going to limit their ability to think about Roche. Sand King almost has a blink. He's level 9. This is so crucial for ABC because their team has great burst damage and great gap closing carries between all 3 of them. The Luna just through raw move speed, and of course the Queen of Pain and the Weaver can just jump in quickly. So with the blink, they can start to find easy pickoffs on anybody aside from the Warlock, who's pretty much too big to kill.
Yeah, Warlock's super tanky, but the Blink Dagger is going to be a huge pickup for ABC as far as their initiations. The one thing they lack, and the one thing this Blink Dagger will alleviate. Warlock, interesting, will be going for an Ag Scepter, and once we see that up, we'll see some really incredible team fight from Invasion. They're actually going to find Gyrocopter at top lane. No Dust or Sentries, though. You can't kill him without those.
Yeah, he's just going to walk away, and at the same time, they're still putting pressure on the Gyrocopter, and they're farming all over the map. Sand King is the Blink now. has not been shown yet. Now he's going to reveal it, walks into the creep wave. Just want to start pushing the tower, force the TPs in. Gyro will join this bottom lane. He's going back for BKB. The Shadow Blade has done absolutely nothing for him, aside from save his life once or twice, which is, for a 3,000 gold item, a BKB could also do the same thing against this lineup. So has not paid for itself. Normally this item gets you a lot of kills on supports. But the skill build, very odd to say the least. He went back for a... Oh, they're going to go in with the Blink Epicenter. Where's the follow-up? There's the Barrel Strike. RP whiffs. What a boss, just breaking the ankles of this mag. Is the Sand King. Better Me does it. Will die, but RP in exchange for that, not really a bad trade at all. Luna forced to BKB as well. Not a great trade, but with RP down, they can't easily go for Rosh. They did have the Warlock ultimate. Let's see what they do. Immediately, we see Queen of Pain head towards mid. The split push should recommence immediately. And Yasha up on Luna. More split push for her.
It's still gold in the pockets of Invasion as well as, I mean, they kept their Gyrocopter alive, so it's definitely a nice little pickup for them. Does buy them some time. They're going to look to group push bottom lane, and even without RP, I think the more important spell is going to be the Warlock ultimate, and they don't have to worry about a Sand King Epicenter Blink now. As long as they don't have to worry about that, they can somewhat push safely.
That's a good point. And on top of that, well, Luna's BKB is on cooldown, which means they can't really fight anymore. While that BKB is on cooldown, Sand King will respawn. They're trying to fight bottom. The bugs come out. Looks like Sand King's going to be caught out of position. He will die just immediately after dying bottom. So that's 2 deaths for him. And now the push should commence. Warlock ult's still online. This is Aghanim's on the way. It's got to be close. Anything on the courier? Ogre Club. So not quite there yet. Here comes the big team fight. Uh-oh. Weaver comes in. Gets lifted. Queen of Pain ult on 2. Warlock Rock is there, but doesn't kill off the Weaver. Now Queen of Pain ultimate stolen, I believe. That was the Scream of Pain, in fact. But doesn't have the mana to actually use it. So everybody throwing out their ults, but barely anybody died. And in the end, Invasion going to be forced to back off. 150 seconds without that Warlock ult.
Yeah, Gyrocopter, Invasion in general, just... They overcommitted there. They didn't have the Gyrocopter. He was sitting at mid lane when that fight broke out on his way bottom, and Invasion just really jumped the gun a bit there. Well, I'd say ABC went on them knowing Gyrocopter wasn't there, and that's something where Invasion needed to be a bit more careful with that timing.
Weaver has picked up a Yasha, most likely that Manta style coming out next, and interesting choice. Probably the best split pushing item. He could have gone for Radiance, but it is a little bit... you remain very squishy if you rush it. He was up to 2,800 gold about 4 minutes ago, so I thought he might go for it, because it is a strong split-pushing choice. But instead, Manta style for him. BKB up on Queen of Pain, so both of the cores have BKBs, and where's the physical damage? Gyrocopter, only a Shadow Blade, still needs the BKB, then needs to start going for damage items. Late game, they probably still have a... If not the edge, then it's going to be hard to say. I mean, with the Gyro and all the AoE they have... Oh, here we go. On to Gyro. He will pass Shadow Blade, look to run away, but unfortunately they have the dust in him. One more auto attack will bring him down. Turned around to call down, but in the end, can't get it off. And they get the kill.
Yeah, ABC's starting to sort of edge out Invasion. They're just getting a kill here and there. They've had that one misstep at the bottom tier 2 tower where they gave up Sand King looking for these kills, but they're really just prioritizing on getting pickoffs. Bottom lane, even when they made that mistake, it was just looking for a pickoff. Now they get a pickoff at mid on Gyrocopter, and they're just looking to get ahead, kill by kill, try and make some space for themselves, and what do? They go for Roshan now with that.
It's the Blink Dagger of the Sand King. Before he had that, they could not find a kill. Since he got it, so many kills all over the map, and sure, they don't have the big team fight, but if Sand King's just there to pick heroes off, the big team fight is never allowed to develop. ABC is really playing a fairly difficult matchup quite well.
Yeah, and like you say, the Sand King is the key component there. They're going to get themselves an Aegis now, and as this game goes on, they're going to not have to rely as heavily on the Sand King because their carries are getting more and more farmed. Dave, on Trash Player on his Luna, has his Yasha up, getting close to a Manta Star with BKB and Aegis. Weaver's got a Yasha, maybe start seeing the workings of some sort of a damage item. It'd be interesting to see if he goes for the straight Manta style. Maybe just looks for something like a more staple item here. Just going for the cheap cost-effective
Big fight breaks out. That was a Burrow Strike on 4. Queen of Pain ult as well. If he had, oh my goodness. RP comes in after the skewer. The Warlock ult as well. Everybody explodes in a cloud of flames. But Contrast player is still here thanks to that BKB. Look at Warlock, barely even scratched by those auto attacks from Luna. Normally she melts intelligence heroes, but these are some tanky ones to say the least. Queen of Pain now blinking away, will retreat in the end. Boy, oh boy, if they did not have BKBs, every single one of those carries dies there. If they had Epicenter on the side of ABC, every single one of Invasion's heroes dies there. That was a 4-hero Burrow Strike and a Queen of Pain ult on top involved, but the mech and relatively high HP from some of these supports. In the end, only a few bodies hit the floor.
Yeah, much fewer body count than you'd expect for such like a colossal fight as far as ultimates just being thrown around left, right, and center. And ABC, I mean, they trade 2 for 2. It's an okay trade. They almost managed to take the gem, which Invasion had just picked up, but Invasion recovered. And now for ABC, they need to settle down a bit. They need to make sure they avoid those big, crazy team fights until they get this Luna ridiculously farmed, until Weaver picks up that first item, that Manta style, or maybe even just goes back for a Lincoln Sphere at this point. But Manta style will be a nice little pickup here.
Yeah, there's no silences to remove, but it just gives you extra split pushing power, as well as, you know, just a little bit of confusion in the team fight. So maybe Rubik lifts the wrong unit, and that's really the key to the kills, is going to be that Rubik lifting a hero to start it off. Sure, you have Blink RP, but realistically, you don't want to blow that because all these heroes can just jump away, and maybe you completely whiff it. You want to start with the lift, and having Manta can sow the seeds of discord. Luna may get caught out. She does have the Aegis. Oh boy. Nope, just the Lucent Beam stolen. Thought that might have been an Eclipse. We've seen some... I don't know if you were watching the game yesterday, but we actually saw Global Silence get... I think this was after you went to bed. Global Silence got stolen, which if you really think about it, should not be possible.
It sounds like a huge just contradiction in itself.
No, there was not a Lincoln's on the Rubik or a BKB. It was just some silly Dota, to say the least. So if that can be stolen, granted, be it by Extinct, nothing to say.
Yeah, I'd agree on that.
Well, at this point, more defensive play from Invasion. Gyrocopter finally going to start working. Is he actually going to build the BKB? At long last, he has it. Now he can start building damage items. I still think Invasion have a pretty fearsome 5-man late game. These big team fights, it's just a little bit hard for them to find the openings because ABC is so freaking mobile. Good luck catching multiple heroes in RP. Good luck catching multiple heroes in Warlock ult. Unless ABC overcommits, and like you said, they needed to settle down. They're doing it now. Queen of Pain Park top. We have the carry mid and the Weaver, and then the bottom lane, it's Luna. Manta style now complete. Butterfly probably next on the list, and if they just continue to split push, they're going to be able to outfarm this sole carry on Invasion side.
Yeah, for ABC, they kind of know that they're slightly ahead here, but they can't just look to go for some big team fights. That'll be the end for them. So they look to split push, they look to pick up their next level of items, and if opportunities arise to get a lone pick-off, even if they have to use something like a Sanking Epicenter or a Queen of Pain Sonic Wave, they'll take whatever pickoffs they can get, then go back to farming. They're not worried about ending the game in the next 5 minutes. This is something where they're going to basically build a little setup so that once they get to the 30-plus minute mark, they're well ahead and on their way to sort of a 35, 40-minute victory if things go according to plan. And it's very unlikely to do that when you're up against this kind of a scary team fight coming out of Invasion. Accept a
This
complete
is such an
on-ball.
obvious smoke gank. They're pushing top, and nobody's coming to defend it. And it looks like ABC has gotten the scent, but can Winter get away in time? Run, Gandalf, run! He's not running fast enough. He's stopping to farm neutrals. Winter, what you doing? Down he'll go. That one should have been seen coming, because when you're pushing top and there's nobody TPing to defend, where the hell else could they be? They're not going Roche, because Roche is dead, and is dead for another 6 minutes. Winter perhaps just a little bit off kilter there, but only the Keeper of the Light dies in the end. Not a big deal. And they get the trade bottom. So this is that, you know, poke us in one place and we grow twice as strong in the other kind of Dota. And it's whack-a-mole Dota, really. And that's what ABC want to play.
Yeah, and it's working out well. And even though they lose Winter there, it's still a favorable trade getting a T2 tower.
Weaver, wow, the Manta style, just enough soak-up damage. Probably to get him away to safety. Yeah, he should be okay.
Yeah, Rubik's still trying to chase here, but next Sakuchi does give him the movement so he needs to get out. Hon Trash Player is going to get caught out here. RP being used, Stanking, Epicenter, everything being blown. The problem is, the Axe is up on the Warlock. His Infernals just rip through some of these heroes. Luckily for ABC, they've got the Aegis on Hon Trash Player. He's going to respawn now, try and fight his way through. Warlock, believe it or not, has actually gone down. The Unkillable has been slain. Hon Trash Player now on the run because he's taken a lot of damage from the continual damage being dealt by these Warlock Golems, and it looks like Invasion, they have a decent team fight here. Unfortunately, they lose Warlock, but once he's thrown out those rocks, he's really done all he can.
Even gods may bleed, and the double rocks burning down the middle lane. It looks like Gyrocopter is going for a late Helm of the Dominator. Contrast player could try and muscle these down. You don't want to feed the gold from those. Unfortunately, the rocks are just very squishy. That's the one downside of them, is at this point in the game, they just don't tank very well. It's all about that initial burst. The key thing for me there is RP was only used on a BKB'd Luna in that fight. Had that hit multiple heroes, I really think it should be their follow-up. You start with the Warlock ultimate because he's not going to die before he gets it off. There's just not enough burst to bring him down. Realistically, with Mech, with the ability of Rubik to disrupt the team fight, Mag should be the second ult, not the first. And if he is and he hits multiple heroes, the fight goes much better. Only catching Luna, not enough. Plus, she had Aegis, so questionable initiation there in the end. And all the ults are
seemed
down.
like a panic ultimate. It was like, oh, Luna BKB'd and was like in the middle of the fight. Magus like, panic. I'm just going to drop an RP because Luna's BKB'd.
Yeah, and really they can tank that Luna quite a bit. These heroes are not that squishy aside from something like the Shrek. And with the ults down, this is where ABC gets aggressive.
Yeah, they take a T2 tower, relative ease there. They're going to retreat now. No Aegis up anymore. They can't really go for Roshan for another couple of minutes either. So they'll just look to gain some more map control, push out the side lanes, force Invasion to have to defend all 3 lanes at once. And it's this top tier 2 tower where it looks like they're going to lay their next siege. Queen of Pain still split pushing bottom, but if Queen of Pain wants to start blinking towards top, it can get there by the time they're at that tower.
Weaver is going for a Diffusal Blade. This is the much unheralded counter to Warlock's ultimate. Purge will instantly destroy an entire Infernal. One of the reasons why Warlock fell out of popularity, there are a lot of others that are more important than that, but that is one factor. His ult definitely doesn't get stronger the later the game goes. They're only going for one Diffusal Blade. Luna is going for the much more standard Butterfly. And by the way, that's coming soon. And they don't have waste... Well, actually they do. They have Flat Cannon. And of course the Splash, if you're not auto-attacking that hero, the Splash will affect her. The problem is, this Gyro doesn't hit very hard. He doesn't have any damage items yet. Look at net worth. He's 6k gold behind the Luna. And this was a safe lane Gyro who had a really easy time of it. I feel he came to too many fights early. He came to fights with max Flat Cannon and only 1 point in Rocket Barrage. Then he leveled up Rocket Barrage. It was kind of a schizophrenic skill build, to say the least.
Yeah, this Gyrocopter, as far as, I mean, his score, his farm looks decent, but it's just not up to par considering what his role was to be. Invasion's just spent more time maybe stacking neutrals, ancients for him, and just going for a super late game carry Gyrocopter.
They're roaming around their own jungle. There's a sentry right here. If Shrek walks over, he will be caught out. Queen of Pain. Scythe of Vice coming very, very soon. Rubik looking for something to steal. He's fishing. Gotta be careful not to get caught. Mag lurking on the high ground. He's had the blink for a while. The 4-stat's coming next. A lot of this game just comes down to getting that big fight for Invasion. ABC cannot get careless. We saw what happened the last time they did. They're starting to pull ahead even further in gold. Up by 12k gold. Up by 11k experience. This is the style they have to play if they want to win. And they're getting close to that point where the Luna and the Queen of Pain are just going to be too fat and they can carry the fights. The Weaver just sort of there for the utility. And Invasion's feeling a little bit impatient, perhaps a little bit desperate. They're trying to bully down mid. 2 big pickups, Butterfly and Scythe the Vice. And what a time for them as Invasion 5-mans down the middle lane.
Yeah, just as the 5-man is coming in, is the Diffusal is up very soon, but not going to be up for this push it looks like. But even without it, I feel Luna alone can just bring down those rock golems so damn fast. Having 2 is great, but they're a lot squishier. They have reduced stats because of the Aghanims, although they don't give as much gold as well. It's not so much about worrying about giving away the gold, it's just not having the DPS from them. The rock golems are fantastic DPS, but if they get brought down fast, you're not doing that DPS.
Middle lane getting pushed. Creepway is being killed off. And the split push coming. Sand King heading bottom lane. Luna heading bottom lane. And with the Sand King here... Oh, no, they're backing off in the end. They decide they can't get there in time. Here comes the fight, potentially. Snow taking some bug damage. Mag blinks in. RP only a Weaver. And I'm not actually going to be able to kill him off, I feel. He might be able to time-lapse out. He can't quite. Everything being thrown down. The rocks going crazy. But Luna doesn't even care. She just auto-attacks them. The Gyro dies. That RP just not nearly what the Doctor ordered. Again, they try to initiate with the Mag RP. 4 heroes die as a result. The rocks just melt to the Luna, and this game is quickly spiraling out of hand in favor of ABC.
Youch, that fight was just so good for ABC, and it's as you say, the RP is just being rushed and being used a bit too early. The Infernals came way too late. Those almost need to be what sets up the fight to some extent. It's not going to get the heroes to group up for a Mag RP, but it can at least lead with some initial damage, because those Infernals are going to get brought down pretty much regardless of how you take the fight. So using it rather earlier on to do a bit of initial burst damage to whittle down some of these heroes seems to be a better way to go, but Invasion, they're just really rushing things, and as a result, they're just falling behind on farm, and they're also giving up kills now and finding themselves in a very hard-to-win position.
They have to RP the Luna, and they really want to do it before she BKBs, but if they can't, they must RP her while the rocks are dropped. Otherwise, she just farms them and then turns the fight around. It is difficult to do because that BKB doesn't have a cast time. Now she's got Aegis, and I think with that one fight being lost, Luna's just too fat to fail at this point. 20k gold up on her. The Hex out on Queen of Pain, and the easy kill should be claimed here onto Rubik. There's no Warlock gold. He runs in to a lot of auto attack damage. Wicked sick for Hontrash player. It's gonna actually, the Split Earth gonna miss, and he's manning up. He wants some more kills. Gyrocopter being sent. Fly, little man, fly, and he will do so. But the push comes down the middle lane. They barrel in. The Diffusal Blade finally arrives. Not that it really matters at this point in the game, because the Luna just murders the rocks. And it's going to be carnage in the Dire base. ABC looking like they're going to take Rax here. I don't see how Invasion fights this. RP is up, but we haven't seen a good RP yet. And the big thing is the Warlock ult is down. Sure, the rocks die quickly, but you really need that stun to make this team fight happen. The siege continues, and they're going to back off and wait for round 2. Not looking good right now for Invasion.
Yeah, and it literally is just an RP that Invasion have to offer to defend this push. Cooldown is up. Gyrocopter can do some limited DPS, but until they get the Warlock rocks back online, it's going to be so difficult to defend.
Oh, RP catches a few, but again, not catching the Luna, who's going to... Oh, actually, maybe did. I think that's the Split Earth that caught her, but she still got the Aegis, and in the end is going to come back to life with the BKB, going to work with the Clips, chopping away with the Glaives. They're bouncing everywhere. Everybody's melting. Monster kill. Wants some more. Throws the illusions out, then backs off. Could probably go back in for the Rax because RP is down. The Rock's coming soon, but they can't burst this Luna down. They don't have enough chain stun while the supports are healing at base. Not gonna get the Rex just yet. In the end, Winterman's up. Rocks come down. Contrash player could farm them. Worried about the chain stun. It's not gonna happen. Warlock dies on the back lines of play, assassinated by nothing more. Now the Luna being chased, being bullied. Rubik wants this kill. Manning up on Winter. Can he find it? Now the Rocks are gonna surround him a little bit. Contrash player on the way out, trying to retreat. Can he do so? They're just so slow.
Both Raxes down to about 300 HP, but ABC, that fight right off the bat got off to a bad start. Mag ulti hits 3 heroes, gets skewered back. Actually skewered them outside of the Gyrocopter ultimate. It's kind of one of those awkward combinations coming out from Invasion, but it worked out for the better anyways. Having them skewered away from the rest of the ABC backup basically made it so that Invasion could isolate them, bring them down fast, and it was only Luna they had left to deal with, who they managed to do so slowly.
I actually thought it missed the Luna, but I guess it just caught her, or maybe the Split Earth hit her in the end. Didn't matter, though, because she had Aegis, and that's really the problem, is the Warlock ult is not useful. The later the game goes against physical DPS, it falls off super hard. It's amazing in the early to mid game. It obviously offers you a great initiation even later on, but the Infernal Golems themselves are just not strong late game items. It's a weakness of the hero, and unfortunately, Hontrash player, Satanic up. Good luck killing him now. If he doesn't die to RP, he's back to full HP and killing your team.
Yeah, he is just beefy as all hell now, and we'll see him probably filling that last spot with something else other than an Aegis. Maybe go for a crit, some other late game damage item, and the push once again is on. The rocks have been already being used. Hontrash actually in the front taking a lot of damage, but we'll see that Satanic coming into play already. He's life stealing himself right back up to full HP. Gyrocopter trying to hold the lines. He pops the BKB, but Raxes have already dropped. RP comes too late, maybe not. He actually skewers back Luna into the T4 towers, and those T4 towers are going to bring down Hontrash player with some time. All in all, though, it's ABC just overwhelming Invasion, even with the Luna having been picked off.
Yeah, there's going to be a burst strike in a moment. He doesn't get it off in time. Now Queen of Pain's in trouble. Uh-oh. No, got to blink away to safety. Weaver comes back in. Gyro man's up, but probably should man down right now, because if there's a Mono Leak on him, he is going to die. The bugs drive in. The extra auto attack come. He dodges the swarm. He almost runs back into it. He stops for just a second. They still got Rex in the end. And with that, call it a one team fight for them. It was an expensive Rex, but it was a Rex.
Yeah, another mag RP just to make sure they deal with that Luna, and I mean, skewering back into tier 4 towers is always going to work for the better.
He's heating up, but the issue is their lineup needed the Gyro to be ultra fat at this point, or it needed for those RPs to be hitting in the mid game. If both of those conditions were not met, then it really doesn't seem to matter if he hits the RPs now, and it's kind of what you expect. The physical damage is only coming for the Gyrocopter, and it's just not there.
Yeah.
Imagine if he's hitting these RPs a good 5-10 minutes ago. The game could have been a lot different.
Yeah, they have no backup semi-carry or DPS. Look at ABC. They've got the Weaver to help do some cleanup and some chip damage. Queen of Pain as well, a strong semi-carry. This is a Queen of Pain with a Sheepstick as well as a BKB. So these other heroes on the Radiant side are doing some decent damage. Even the Weaver, who hasn't gone for a DPS style of build, the Manta Diffusal is much more sort of like a survival utility style of build, having the Diffusal for the rocks, having the Mantle for the split push as well as some survival. But all in all, it's still ABC with a much more well-rounded team. They're not putting all their eggs in one basket.
Gyrocopter has the Demon Edge. I honestly think we might see that Divine Rapier. They don't have an ultimate that goes through magic immunity, so potentially he could find some big kills. They're going to start this fight off with the stun. They're going to RP just for Queen of Pain. Burrow Strike is here. Where was that split earth? He went for the nuke first. Doesn't matter. Queen of Pain won't blink away. In comes Trash player. Manning up. They need the RP now. They don't have it, but they are heading for the hills. Luna gives chase. 4-step forward into a Lucent Beam, but 4-step away. Doing their best to save him is the Mag, and well, doing his best to save himself. But on the back lines, it's the Weaver. Here comes the cleanup crew, and Bai could be caught. Rocks get dropped. Catch everybody. Where's the follow-up? Additional Burrow Strikes being thrown down. Tasered into submission. There's your Rubik nuke. On the way out is the Gyro. He stops for the kill. Not worth it at all if he dies, and he should die. Pay for that one. He will. Not a good trade to just get that single kill. And, well, they're on the way out. Did they have a gem? Because that's the only reason he should have gone for it. I don't think they did. So just throws away his life in exchange for the Keeper of the Light. Uh-oh. There they go back into the fight. Look at this Luna. Slicing and dicing. Trash player had Rampage last game. Triple kills galore this game. And really throwing his teams on his shoulder. His team on his shoulders as we head towards the 40-minute mark.
Yeah, some really bizarre fights in that ABC seems to always lose 2 or 3 heroes right off the bat. And in exchange for one, they're always getting these unfavorable trades, but the problem is Luna and Weaver just, they stay alive. They do enough damage there. They managed to sort of 2v3 almost. Initially, it was even like a 2v4 with 3 of their teammates dead and only 1 kill on the board for ABC. And it's always just this long haul where ABC are just buying time and space for Luna, and Luna will make it happen if ignored.
They're 20k gold ahead, yet I feel there is still a slight chance for invasion. If Gyro gets the Rapier, and there's a big RP, there's a big Warlock ultimate, ABC can die to that. They're all fairly squishy aside from the Luna. And Luna can't solo the entire enemy team by herself. We saw in these last fights, she's very survivable, but she doesn't have the damage to bring everybody down yet. With that 1 extra damage item, she could. But a Rapier could turn this game. It's still a long ways off. It's still very much ABC's game to lose. But this level of team fight, you can't count it out late game. Invasion, not out of it yet. And if you're ABC, you just got to maintain the discipline here. Make sure that you bring this win home.
Yeah, for ABC, yeah, it's definitely a thing of discipline now. When you're versing a mag, and it's always anything can happen. You've got a Gyrocopter in there as well who can have his damage boosted with the Empower. You don't get the cleave, but he's going for DPS now. Yasha, Demon Edge, he's going to have those right clicks. If he can get up an MKB or a crit, he's going to hurt.
Here comes the fight. S on the way out. He will 4-step just to dodge that Queen of Pain ult. None of these ults really hitting. Warlock, no ult for him. He will fall. Gem hits the floor. There's your RP. They skewer him only a tiny bit. This time the man. Oh, here comes the Gyrocopter. But Huntress player's still alive. And you can't win this fight 1v1. You gotta run now. But he gets Burrow Strike. He picks off. The base is burning. S is about to die. This is gonna be a team wipe. Who's got buyback? The answer is absolutely nobody except for Leshrac. And he ain't doing nothing. Invasion are going home. Team ABC moves forward. It was a bit of a haltering performance, to say the least. I think they're going to have to step their game up if they hope to have any chance against Orange, who I assume has taken down Gizmo. Although Gizmo was leading in Game 1 when I checked during the break. I assume Orange in the end has taken that series, but we'll find out soon. Either way, ABC, a bit of a sloppy performance, but a win is a win is a win. And they're moving on to the Grand Finals, 1 best out of 3 away from advancing into the main GEST Dota 2 event.
Yeah, this is what it's all going to come down to. I imagine, as you said, ABC versus Orange rematch for the 1 Malaysian spot in the GST Dota 2. There's a lot at stake. I mean, even qualifying aside, there is some prize money just for these individual qualifiers, $500 for each one, and then on top of that, getting qualified into the main GST Dota 2 draw. Something very prestigious and potentially more prize money coming your way.
Let's see what happens, guys. It will be Team ABC moving forward, but they haven't secured that berth yet. Stay tuned for more action from LD, Gods, and Beyond the Summit, or David and David, and we'll be back after this.